What's going on, guys? John Elder here from Codemy.com, and in this video, we're going to continue building out our form for our database with Python and Django. All right, guys, in this video, we're going to work on the back end part of the form that we started in the last video. But before we get started, if you like this video and want to see more like it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, which really helps out the channel. I really appreciate. And check out Codemy.com, where I have dozens of courses with hundreds of videos that teach you to code. Use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. That's all my courses, videos, and books for a one-time fee of just $49, which is insanely cheap. Okay, in the last video, we left off, we had created this form. We've got it, it looks very nice, it's bootstrapified. We created a base extend so we can extend our bootstrap template. And it looks good. Now, it doesn't actually do anything. When we click the button, nothing actually happens. So what do we do now? Well, dealing with forms in Django is actually pretty easy. In fact, Django does most of the work for us. All we have to do is tell it that there's a form we have to define that form, and then it will do most of the rest of the work. So to do that, we head back over to Sublime and head up to our website directory, our sort of main directory where we have all of our stuff, our urls.py, our views.py, all of our stuff. And let's right click and create a new file, and let's file save as. And we just want to call this forms.py. And inside of forms.py, we want to, from Django, import forms. And we also want to import our model. So from .models, import member. So this models is our models.py file. We want to import that. And this member is in our models.py file. It's our class that we called member. So, okay, now we need to sort of define the form and tell it what it's gonna entail, what it's gonna have in it. So let's create a class and let's call this member form. And member form will inherit forms.model form. And that's just, we're importing from this Django forms thing, right? So inside of here, we want to create another class called meta. And that will be, we'll define our model to equal member. Right, and that's just this member form. And then we need to define the fields of our form, right? So this will just create a Python list and then define all the fields in our form. So we had, let's see, it was F name, L name, and I want to make sure we get these right. So let's look at our models, email, password, and age. So we just go email, password, and age. And that's it, right? So let's go ahead and save this. Now we head back to our views.py file. We need to import that form, right? So from .forms, which is just this forms file we just created, we need to import member form, which again is just what we called this class, right? Makes sense? So now we can use that form in our views here, in our functions, and we want to use it in this join function. So, all right, anytime you post a form, you're posting data. That's a post request. Anytime you go to a web page, that's a get request. You're asking to get the page. You're saying, hey, go get that page. And we can determine whether it's a get request or a post request because we passed in this request, right, into our form. So we can run some logic to see, hey, is this a post or is this a get? So we can go if request.method equals post, do form stuff, else just return the page, right? So if somebody just goes to the page, that will not be a post request. So this post stuff won't get called. Instead, it'll just return the page, right? If, on the other hand, they post something, then this will get called and we can do stuff, right? So what do we want to do? Well, let's create a variable called form, and we want to set this equal to member form. And then we want to pass into that our request.post or none. So if nothing gets filled out into the form, we want to handle that with or none. Otherwise, we just want to put whatever they filled out into the form and posted. We want to put that into our member form and make that into a variable called form that we can do stuff with, right? And so this post, of course, remember, is from our join.html file when we created this method equal post for our form. So we're posting that. Whatever they filled out into the form gets posted. The post goes to our views.py file, and then our views.py says, oh, this is a post, so let's take whatever they posted and add it to our member form, which is this member form, which is defined as this. And now Django knows, hey, we want to add this to our member model, which is, remember, our member model. This has all these things. Now all we have to do is say, hey, tell our program, hey, save form to the database. And before we do that, we want to make sure this is all valid data. So I can run another if statement that says if form dot is underscore valid. And this is just a function that tests some things to see if it's valid. If it is, we want a form dot save, right? And then we want to redirect back to that page again, or we can redirect anywhere we want, right? So let's look at this one more time. So if somebody posts, this bit of code says, hey, this is a post, they filled out the form, let's grab whatever they put into the form, slap it into this member form, and slap that into this form variable. Now we need to say, is that information valid? Like, did they put a real email address? Is there, did they leave something blank? Whatever. If it's valid, then just form.save. So we're going to take everything in this member form and save it to the database. How do we know what table in the database to save it to? Well, our forms.py file defined our member table, our member class. And our member class is in our models.py file. It's just this thing. So it will save that to our database in that table, right? Very cool. And then, where'd we go? Where's our views.py file? There it is. Then, after it saves it, it will just return us back to this web page, right? Otherwise, if the person didn't fill out the form, then all they really wanted to do was see that page, so we'll just return that page. So let's go ahead and save this and make sure our models.py file is saved and our forms.py file, join, everything's saved. And let's head back to the website and let's give this a test here. And it looks like we're unable to connect, so we have an error. What did I do wrong? So let's Control C to break out of this. If request method equals post. Oh, I forgot a colon, it looks like right there. So let's run our server again and look at our views.py file. And sure enough, right there, I forgot a colon. And I also forgot one right here. Man, I'm having a bad day today. It's Friday, I think. Is it Friday? I don't even know what date it is. It is Friday. It's Friday. Give me a break. All right. So anytime you have an if statement, you also need a colon at the end. So we've got one here too. All right. So let's save this. Now let's reload this thing. And we were getting another error. What did I do now? Let's Control C to break out of here. Django.forms has no attribute model form. Oh man, I'm having all kinds of typos today. So head back over to our forms.py file. And this is model form, capital F. And here is member form, capital F. And then now let's check out our views.py file. So right here, this needs to be capital F. All right, all kinds of typos this morning. So member, form, member and form have to be capitalized. All right. One more try. Third time's the charm, right? We'll see. Let's hit reload. No, another error. All right, what do we do now? Control C. Import member form. Did I not save something? So let's save this file. Let's see, our forms.py file. Our forms.py file. Make sure to save that. That should be enough. Up here at the top. Form, member, form. There we go. All right. Now we should be good. Fourth time's the charm, I always say. Okay, so now we got it. So let's try, let's go Steve, I don't know, Smith. Steve is 21. His address is steve@steve.com, and his password is password1. So sign up, and we get redirected. Now there's no message here. We could put a little message, and maybe we'll look at how to do that. So now let's head back to our home page to see if Steve got added, and sure enough, boom, there he is. Steve Smith, email steve@steve.com, age 21. Very cool and very easy, even though we had a bunch of typos, right? So just that easy. So let's try some other things. Lisa, no first name, age 109, email address is no, password is password. Now if we try and click this, please enter an email address. We get a little thing here. This is Bootstrap. So no@no.com or non.com. So Lisa, no last name, click sign up form. Lisa didn't get added. Why? She left off one of those fields. We didn't add a last name, so Lisa didn't get added. Why? Because we have this is valid, and it's not valid if you didn't enter something specific. Now we can put some code in here to designate this as not being submittable until somebody fills out them all. And if we look at Bootstrap, we can go on documentation, click on components, click on forms, and read down here. We can see form controls, and you can come down here to how it works, and you can read about how to make these valid and validated and things like that. We can add, it looks like, a needs validation class to our form. And that's cool. And maybe we'll talk about this in the next video. This one's getting a little bit long, so I think we'll just stop here. Just to recap really quickly, because we kind of messed up some stuff here, you create a forms.py file. You want to, from Django, import forms. You want to import your model from your model class from your models.py file. Create a class member form. Now you can call this anything you want, but it's the sort of the convention to do whatever the class is called, member, and then capital F. And from there, we want to inherit forms.modelForm. That's from this thing right here. Then we create a class meta. We describe what model we want to use and what fields we want to use. Then in our base, or then in our views.py file, we import our member form that we created. And inside of here, we just see if the request is a post, then we want to take whatever they posted, slap it in this member form, put that in this variable that we can now call to say, hey, is this valid? If it is, save it. If it's not, don't do anything, right? And so maybe if you want to get rid of this, and we just put this like this, if we come back here, and let's go back here and put Lisa, and Lisa's 90. Your email address is lisa at lisa.com, and her password is pass. Now if we sign up, we can't even do that because we didn't validate, and we have to validate. So important that you have this. And probably in the next video, we'll talk about how to reprompt them if the form is not valid. And that's pretty easy to do. But like I said, this video is getting a little bit long, so we're going to put that in the next video. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, be sure to smash the like button below, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, and check out Codemy.com where you can use coupon code YouTube1 to get $30 off membership. So it pays just $49 to access all my courses, over 40 courses, hundreds of videos, and the PDFs of all my best-selling coding books. Join over 85,000 students learning to code just like you. My name is John Elder from Codemy.com, and we'll see you in the next video.